Okay, I sorted the last of them cattle that we bought before wheat harvest. I sorted them heifers and steers. So we're putting them out in bigger pens. This is a group we bought. This is about the longest we'll ever go before working them, but we bought them. They still have their original tags on them and stuff. It's been so hot that a vaccine doesn't really take effect in the cattle, their immune systems. And they just don't recommend doing it when the day is gonna be over 90 all day. So we need to work them still. Today it's only supposed to be a high of 93, which is the lowest temperature that we've had in, it might be close to 2 weeks, the lowest high temperature.
Meet the Peterson family. Our dad, the 3 Peterson brothers, and our families farm together in central Kansas. Our family farm started in 1882 and has been raising cattle and crops ever since. Please subscribe to this channel and give us a like and a comment if you enjoy the video.
So Dad's taking the heifers to 7. I'm gonna walk back, get the steers to put to 6. The last group we bought, this was the pen that was mainly second calves. These were weaned ones. They're already eating 20 pounds of ration a day, so they're almost ready to go on starter after, even in that heat. So I was impressed by how well this load of cattle did through that heat. Got a little sprinkling of rain last night, so it's a good thing I got the hay done. There's a road grader. Funny story about road graders. One of my wife's friends came out into the country. She'd never seen one of those before. When she got to her house, she says, "Why was there this tractor man driving down, leaving a pile of dirt on the middle of the road?" And I thought that was a pretty funny story about road graders. But I mean, she hadn't driven gravel roads very much, so it was her first time. And it definitely is an inconvenience when it's there, but it's not there for very long. I got a late start to chores because I wasn't very quick out the house this morning because I was bailing late. Late start already, and then we've been moving around a lot of groups of cattle, getting them into pens that match their size a little bit more, getting ready to buy probably another 100 head this week. It might start raining here before I even get all my feeding done. I hope I get poured on, rained out. All right, we just moved pen 2A into 4B, and we moved 2B into 4A, all while it's starting to sprinkle here. We got a lot of pin numbers, and we got some A's and B's, and whenever you're communicating about which pin to go to, you gotta think twice so you don't put them in the wrong place. Okay, after all those moves, now we've got 2A, 2B, and 3 all open for new cattle in the next week or so. Now I gotta finish feeding. On our farm, we also raise hippos. Just kidding, just going for this morning swim. All right, there's the catch pen. It's on more of a slope than I'd like it to be on, but it's pretty much the only place we can put it. We are not gonna catch them today. We're just gonna feed them in there to get them kind of trained. They're following me. I don't know where they went. There they are. They're not as eager as I thought they would be. I got some distillers for them. Okay, so some of them are in there eating. A couple of those skeptical ones here. That one was limping a little bit, so I'm gonna have to give her some attention once we get her caught. Hopefully they all walk in there nice and smooth tomorrow. Okay, by the time I went back there, closed the pasture gate behind them, and Evan got this gate closed. They were pretty much all in there. Like, there's like one that's like halfway in, another one that is facing the right way and about in. It would have been so easy to just close those gates. But we don't have time to come back with a trailer this morning. I was kind of planning to do it tomorrow morning, so I hope there is that easy to get tomorrow morning. We finished the corn silage, that side of the road. Moved on to the cane silage, or forage sorghum, on this side of the road. It's a little shorter, a little leafier, and it makes a really good top seal to the trench. So this is going on top. It's not 8 to 9 feet tall like the corn, but there's parts that are over 6.5, and I'd say it's 5.5 to 6 on average, and really leafy. You can see it. Okay, here's the biggest pond left in this 80-acre pasture, which is the reason why we're hauling tanks here today, because we want to graze this for another couple weeks. There's some grass behind the hill and everywhere, but there's no water. Once again, using a bale bed for something other than bales. Got my uncle's tank. Our tank's already out there. So I'll have 2 tanks for 30 to 40 pair. Getting some cattle unloaded here. Plenty bright. You can see how far out the silage pile is coming into the yard now. Started on the cane silage. Long ways to go. Okay, it rained last night, so it's really exciting. We think it rained about 60 hundredths, 50. So that's gonna revive everything that was dying. And we're gonna work them calves now that we haven't worked because it was 100 degrees for so many days in a row. Yesterday it wasn't 100, and today it's only supposed to be 92, I think, for only like 1 or 2 hours. So we're gonna get these calves worked. We also bought more calves. They came in last night, so I don't know if we're gonna get these ones worked this morning or not, but we're gonna get the other ones worked at least. Okay, out they go to the corner of that pen. Go on, yep, this is the top end of the 77. The ones that were weaned when we bought them. And them ones were more calves that were ballers when we bought them. Just ones that were a little slower. So these ones are eating more pounds per day. I'm gonna work them first. Okay, going pretty smooth. We've gotten quite a few done.
All right, just loaded up some more tires from the tire pile. We are expanding the bunker silo, trench silo once again. The cane is going to really make a big pile on top of this corn, so we're putting some more bales out front and putting tarp over the bales and then holding down the tarp with these tires in order to extend the wall out from the trench. You can see we've already done this side. We're doing the other side as well. All right, so there we've got bales extended on both sides, got tarp around the bales so that it seals nice, and hopefully we'll just feed up this tail here pretty quick this fall so that, you know, we can get rid of these bales here because it's kind of out in the way, but we're gonna have a lot of feed this year, which is a good thing.
Dad's got to go somewhere with my mom tonight at, I don't know, shortly after 5, and then I'm going somewhere with Caitlin like 20 minutes after that. So this is my last load, and then Greg and Nathan are going to take care of chores tonight. Time to load up the last part of the group here. I'm gonna bring them through this box. They're gonna go into this single alley right up into the trailer. Come on, cows. Yep. Come on, cows. Yep. Go on, cows. Yep. Hey. So the cool thing about this field and
what we're chopping right now. This is our field called North the Track, and we call it that because it's north of the old railroad track. But the cool thing is that we're chopping forage sorghum here right now, and 11 years ago this was planted to forage sorghum also, and we were chopping here as well, and we were filming a video called Farmer Style in 2012 that ended up becoming our most watched video ever with 19 million views. So it's kind of cool that we got the same crop planted here, and we're doing the same thing as we were 11 years ago when we were filming it. I'll throw up some footage of when we were filming it here. And we just walk towards the camera. And we're farming and we grow it. We are the Peterson farm. Shoot, I messed it up, We love agriculture and we want the world to know it.
I did not do it good at all.
What'd you do?
First I was behind, then I like almost tripped on one of these things.
Were you cracking up? So that was during December, I think, or maybe late November when we were chopping then, because it was double crop forage sorghum, and it was pretty late stuff. I think we may have had to wait for a freeze in order to chop it. So this was early stuff we planted this year, but it's still kind of a 11-year reenactment.
Finishing this little turn off. Move right over there. Bottom ground.
Well, another field buzzed off. Looks good. So forage sorghum is what we call cane here in central Kansas. So cane is kind of the slang term for forage sorghum, and milo is the slang term for grain sorghum. So that's where those words come from. I don't think they're used a lot outside of Kansas. But forage sorghum compared to grain sorghum is a little taller. It's a little taller variety. It makes more tonnage. It's just kind of bred for forage or silage, versus grain sorghum is kind of bred for the head of the sorghum plant to make as much grain as possible. So that's what we call milo. It's tunning out really well, except for where the chinch bugs got to it. A lot of places in the field where the chinch bugs got to it, it's fallen over, or it didn't get as good of a stand. Been dealing with chinch bugs all year. They've not gone away. And even when we park the chopper, when we park the forage harvester in the shed at night, after we've been chopping this forage sorghum, there's just chinch bugs crawling all over it. So still dealing with the chinch bugs for sure, but the tonnage for this forage sorghum is very similar compared to the corn across the road. They're both did really well because of the well-timed rains. So we're very happy with the yield, the tonnage on this. People have been asking for the yield on the corn and the forage sorghum. I think they're both in the 15 to 20 range. The better parts of the field, probably 20 tons. So we're very happy with that. It's made a huge silage pile. Honestly, we would have probably chopped less corn if we knew it was gonna be such a huge pile. But feeder cattle prices are to the moon. And so we're gonna buy a bunch of cattle and feed all winter. Hopefully make lots of money on the cattle. So.
I hear somebody squealing down there. I don't know if it's a kid or a pig. Travel time.
In the 12, this will be all the kids for the both parents that were different.
I guarantee you, yes. See if he can jump. How are you?
Ada, what are you on?
Alright, it's Monday morning and we are back to chopping what should be our last day of chopping. This is all we got left.
Okay, we're finishing up the hour rounds here around this field before we start going kind of straight back and forth. Some cattails at the bottom of this, because a lot of times this field's too wet, but we're able to drive right through it this time. We're driving through a tornado! It's a tornado! Ah! We're in the eye of the storm. Oh, we lived. We survived. Okay, we are getting so much closer. Hoping to finish before 6 p.m. tonight when we lose some labor.
When you finish off a strip of a down row, it's so satisfying.
Okay, we're finishing off this strip. All that's left is right there to the trees of Silage Harvest 23. All right, people, we got a lot of feed. I don't know, you'll get to see a picture of the pile here. My dad's been packing all afternoon, and it's up there really high, highest that I remember since coming home from college. But a lot of times we have that second trench to put the cane silage, and sometimes we would do corn silage in this pile, cane silage in the other pile. The way it's currently set up, we have triticale in the other pile, and that's what we're feeding out of. So it's not the most feed we've ever had, but it's the tallest it's been in quite a while. We also have 2 trench silos at my dad's house. They're small, but we sometimes put feed in them, and there's nothing in them right now. We're hoping to kind of phase out using them now that we have a feed truck. So it's by no means the most feed we've ever had, but it'll be nice to have a little carryover if we don't get it all used up this year. Okay, I'm gonna start chores. Greg's gonna go and get that last load. Whew, a lot of loads. I think that field was 60 loads. There's my dad going up on top of the pile. You see, I don't know whether you guys think the pile looks big or small when you look at it, but the hay bales look pretty small. 1 hay bale next to that pile. It's pretty small.
Well, we are on our last pass of corn silage harvest 2023. It's been a marathon, and we have one of the biggest silage piles we've had in a long time. I think we were a little taken aback at how many tons all this feed produced, just with the drought conditions we were struggling with there in the spring. I think this year it was all about the timing of the rains that we did receive, and not necessarily about the amount of rain we've received, because we're still well below our yearly average. We're about 50% of our annual average of rainfall, and somehow we raised this tremendous forage crop, which you know, is a testament to timing of rains, as well as, you know, genetics of the corn, as well as just the fact that we've had several failed crops in a row. So those rains really took advantage of that. You know, there was plenty of nutrients in the ground, hopefully. But we're hoping to run all this feed through cattle and hopefully make money on those cattle. The cattle market's been really good, been really hot. We've made quite a bit of money on cattle already this year, so they are certainly what is keeping us afloat in all of these dry times here in central Kansas, which historically, you know, that's kind of the story of our farm, going way back when was livestock is always what kept the farm going in times of drought or depression, with market prices, whatever it is. So we're thankful for livestock, we're thankful for feed for livestock, and hopefully we can get some good fall crops. The beans definitely took a hit from this heat wave, but the corn was good, and then the milo and some of the irrigated beans or lowland beans, they still look good. So hopefully it keeps raining. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We're done. All right, there's the last load. I don't know if you can tell, but we are out way farther than we normally are. Normally it stops about right here, and then we're quite a bit higher than we normally are as well. This is a pretty tall pile. Thanks for watching, everyone. Check out our music videos linked in the description. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, and explore our website, www.petersonfarmbrothers.com. See you guys next time.